Dustborn Dev opens up after brutal launch. Caught us completely off guard. I mean, like, yeah, he didn't suspect it whatsoever. Yeah, they brought this pile of crap out, right? And they're like, oh, this would be perfectly fine. People's gonna love it. They're gonna love it.
What were they thinking?
Well, this article goes into great detail about what they were thinking, and it's quite a long article. I try to just highlight specifics to shorten it, but yeah, I guess let's hurry up and get into it. However, the launch of Dustborn, the newest game from Red Thread Games, has forced him to seriously reconsider whether game development is something worth pursuing. Hopefully, he
Oh,
decides to go into another field entirely.
yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
and what I just read that's following, it is his greatest passion. Been in game development for nearly 30 years, loves his job. I know he's not been doing pulling this crap for 30 years, writing stuff like that and making such crap games for 30 years, or he couldn't have been in it for 30 years.
yeah.
They're lying somewhere.
The math don't add up.
It completely caught us. It caught us completely off guard. We were very surprised by the extreme reaction to the launch. We had no plan for how to handle it. Tornquist, I'm guessing that's how you say his name. I don't know. Tornquist tells gamer.no. Whatever. Wild falsehoods. But nothing could have prepared him for what happened with Dustborn. He won't go into detail about everything he's heard, but Tornquist claims there have been both harassment and threats. You can easily ignore what's said on forums or on X. Emails feel a little closer to home, but receiving text messages where someone wishes you dead is unsettling, he says. Now, right off, I'm going to say no one should be sending them death threats. And if anyone actually is, I mean, I have my doubts, but there's a lot of people out there with, a lot of ways about them. If
Yeah.
anybody actually is, don't. That makes you just as bad as them.
I mean, it's not worth going to prison over, you know?
Yeah, I get the urge to, want to hurt somebody that's pulling this crap on us, but, something wrong with you if you're trying to carry it out or you're even go so far as to threaten their life.
Yeah.
Several videos about Tornquist have surfaced on YouTube. One video claims that Tornquist had said he wants to drown babies. What?
What? Oh my God.
Okay, I don't know anything about this, but I find this doubtful.
That's really hard to believe. I mean, come on. Somebody that makes a game like this and they want to drown babies, that's kind of hard to
On
fathom.
social media, many are drawing parallels between Red Thread Games' Dustborn and Firewalk Studios' shooter Concord. We are a tiny studio, that's why it feels so blown out of proportion. The reason they're drawing parallels is because they're both woke written and they're both absolute flops.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah.
Flop. Dead in the water.
Well, from what I gathered of the Dustborn game, it was boring as everything. All you did was go around insulting people, and you had no option not to do that. There
Yeah,
was no gameplay to
and
it.
and getting triggered.
Yeah, I mean, it was boring.
Says their games aren't for everyone. Well, apparently they're not for anyone.
That's what I was gonna say. They're not for anybody because it was boring as everything.
Did you expect debate over some of the more obvious politically correct aspects of your game? Yes, but we were never out to provoke. Yeah, okay. We just wanted to make a game with characters that are different. We didn't think it would be so controversial that a group would fight against a fascist regime. What? Wait,
That makes no sense.
yeah, what? Is he calling himself fascist or calling us fascists?
I
It's definitely them that are the fascists.
I think he's trying to call us fascists.
It's worded in an odd way, but fascist. What?
because we
That's a strong word now. It says these games aren't for everybody, and if it's not for you, you're a fascist.
he's calling us
You know,
fascists because we don't like his
I mean, yeah,
terrible
really,
game.
these games aren't for everybody, and if you don't like it, you're a fascist. Whoa, that's a leap, and that's a strong word. You don't like getting death threats? Don't be slinging crap like that around.
Even though, death threats are a little extreme, you
So is
know.
fascism.
Well, yeah, but this is just ridiculous. They created a boring game where all you do is go around insulting people and calling people
Yeah,
racist, and
on
then
that. One
you
of the
know,
game's premises is that words have power. Exactly, like calling people fascist. And in its combat system, you can trigger or cancel opponents. Trigger or cancel. Words have power. Fascist. Are we seeing a pattern here?
yeah.
So this interviewer says, so is this satire? I think the game speaks for itself. It's over the top in many ways. And he goes on, and you could read it right here. But you know what he doesn't say? He doesn't say, yeah, it's satire, or yeah, it's kind of satire. No, he refuses to answer that one. Meaning, no,
Uh,
he meant every bit of it.
yeah, and he wonders why people hate it so much.
After the launch, they posted a message on social media asking people to behave following what they call a tidal wave of hate.
He's not talking to children. I
Yeah,
mean,
behave yourself. And, that reminds me of that RoboCop, I think RoboCop 2 scene where he tells the giant robot, behave yourself.
oh yeah, yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
Yeah, like it was a child.
yeah.
Tornquist feels, yeah, I don't know if I'm saying this right. Feels that it was that this was mocked. Of course it was mocked. Duh. So they decided to remain silent about the game and wait for things to calm down. That hasn't worked either. Surprise.
Well,
Surprise.
no.
I am shocked. I'm shocked.
Well, the, they deserve some of this hatred toward the
He
game because it's
says,
awful.
seems like people twist everything we say with malicious intent. They've created a narrative that Red Thread is corrupt and making propaganda. This is making propaganda. That's exactly what this is. And you're calling people fascist.
I mean,
Motherfucker can't complete a sentence without lying in the first part of it or second part of
I think the whole thing is one big lie.
not a flop. Dustborn is not a flop.
Oh,
Dustborn
really?
isn't selling as much as we would like, but we're proud of it and think it is a good game, says Tornquist.
Oh, they got. I want some of what they're smoking. I mean, really.
It can take months and years for story driven games like this to find their audience, so we're not dissatisfied. No, months and years go by, and guess what? The game is still laughed at, and past that is forgotten.
Yeah.
Okay, here, Red Thread received 14 million NOK from the Norwegian Film Institute (NFI) for development. They also received 150,000 euros in the EU grant. So essentially, it was funded by, well, for the most part, the government or
Oh,
governments.
yeah. Okay, it makes more sense. It makes some more sense now.
For Dustborn, we wouldn't have the same opportunities without the support from NFI. Yeah, and he's like, I don't get why they're acting this way, those fascists. And I don't think it's a flop, and blah blah blah. And then in the same breath, essentially going, well, we couldn't have made it without them throwing money at us.
Yeah. So the governments got together and told them to make a politically
Well, also
driven game.
a Norwegian Film Institute, but you can bet that's tied to the government as well. You can bet it is.
Yeah.
The value of diversity. Tornquist thinks it's great that we can aim for diversity in the industry. Diversity has always been central to Red Thread games. Those who aren't interested in it don't need to play those games, he believes. Diversity is positive for everyone. And why are you calling them fascists?
Yeah. I mean, that's just
He goes on to say there will always be games like Black Myth Wukong and Mario and Elden Ring, but no, there's where he's wrong. This is leaking into all the games. It's slowly seeping in and it's taking over. If we
yeah,
don't combat this nonsense, we won't have a choice of decent games to play, and that's already happening. It's been happening. It's happening stronger now.
yeah. I think the biggest way to fight that though is to quit giving them our money.
Okay, that's the reading part's done. If we want to talk shit now, we can do so. I
Uh,
mean, I want you to notice this
What in the world?
Big Shirley back here
Oh yeah, Big Shirley, yeah.
with Vitiligo.
Yeah.
Vitiligo, Big Shirley. And then you got Lady Boy. Yeah, they got a Lady Boy in the game too. And then
But
you got the one with a magical voice that can become triggered and
oh
insult people and manipulate people, and you're encouraged to do so. How, in any way, did they think this was a good idea?
well, I
Oh,
think
and a robot that they treat like utter crap until it decides it's non-binary or some nonsense like that.
yeah, I saw that. But the whole game, they're just going around the country insulting people. It's boring as
Yeah,
everything.
okay. I watched Hypnotic do his playthrough of this game, and I was like, they say this about the game, they say that about the game. Then I seen it, and I'm like, whoa, this is unbelievable. How'd they think they could get away with all this nonsense?
This is what happens when game companies uh have to do what their governments tell them to. This
Okay,
is just a political game. That's all it is.
before this video gets to running too long, I think I'll wrap it up. Leave your thoughts and comments, your likes and subscribes, and your donations, and just don't leave hate. We have plenty of that. And we're out.